Hi everybody, it's Jay and I am back in the booth again for another live reading, sneak peek video preview for this week's audiobook release here on Say with Jay. Before I get started, I have to say thank you to my friend Bernadette for sending me not one but two great t-shirts, including this one. No, this is not an image of me eating my daughter-in-law's baked goods, although the resemblance is strikingly uncanny. No. As some of you may have seen, I have some videos on the YouTube channel here of me feeding my little co-workers outside my booth. And by the way, check those out if you haven't seen them when you have time. And I thought I would wear the shirt out today to a little office brunch that we had and see what they thought. As you can tell, they are utterly captivated. Totally speechless. They just keep coming back for more. Although that could be the peanuts, I guess. Regardless, even the non-chipmunks can't help but try to sneak a peek at this great shirt. So, Bernie, thanks again. I appreciate it so very, very much. All right, one more little housekeeping thing here. We do a lot of little fun intros to these video previews, and one thing we haven't done is a Q&A session. So before I can give any answers, I need your questions. If you've got any question for me, whether it's about audiobooks in general, or the narration process, or Lord knows why, me, you can submit them in the comments below, or you can email them to saywithjay@gmail.com. If you're on Facebook and are a member of Jessie Gussman's Reader Chat, and you should be, then I'll make a post there and you can submit your questions there as well. Then, in a week or two, we'll get the questions together and have a fun little Q&A session. Okay, this week's new release here on Say with Jay is Cowboy Finding Love. It's the fourth book in Jessie Gussman's Coming Home to North Dakota Sweet Romance series. And like Cowboy Stealing My Heart a couple of weeks ago, Jessie has included a recipe in the book that I'm going to make for you here today. This week, it's William's One-Skillet Smoked Sausage Pasta. It's great for a quick midweek meal. It's quick and easy to make, and I guarantee you and your family will love it. Now, real quickly, like all my recipes, none of these are my own creation. I found this one from a young lady named Catherine Salam, hope I'm saying her last name right, and I'll put a link to her recipe blog in the description of the video below. It's worth a visit. She has some really, really great recipes. Okay, so to make William's One-Skillet Smoked Sausage Pasta, you're going to need a pound to a pound and a half of, you guessed it, smoked sausage. Use whatever kind you like. I heartily recommend Conecuh smoked sausage from Evergreen, Alabama, near my hometown of Monroeville. You're going to need one diced onion, a couple of tablespoons of minced garlic, a half a cup of heavy whipping cream, 12 to 16 ounces of your favorite pasta, 2.5 cups of chicken broth, a can of diced tomatoes. I like this fire-roasted garlic variety from Hunt's. Adds a lot of flavor. And then your seasonings. I'm going with salt, pepper, and just this all-purpose seasoning, but you can customize that to whatever you like. Almost forgot, you need 2.5 cups of your favorite shredded cheese blend. I'm going with my standby Costco Cheddar Jack cheese blend, but whatever you've got will work. Whatever you like, go with that. Now, first thing you'll want to do is to slice up your sausage. So, we're going to slice up our sausage. We're going to we're going to slice, you're going to slice up your sausage, like so. Next, in your cast iron skillet or saute pan, whatever you're using, Add a couple of tablespoons of oil and heat that on medium-high heat. When the oil's hot, add in your onion and your sausage. I'd like to thank my good friend Cara Lee for helping me up my utensil game. As you might have noticed, she also saw me using the world's smallest wooden spoon to try to stir Jenna's favorite chicken the last time I did a Cooking with Jay segment, and she sent me some wonderful utensils to use. You'll want the onions to cook down until they're about translucent and your sausage has a little color. Once they're cooked down, add a couple of tablespoons of garlic. This is a southern kitchen, so measure with your heart. Give that a good stir. Let that garlic heat up and get really fragrant. After about a minute or so, you're going to want to add your 2½ cups of chicken broth, your ½ cup of heavy whipping cream, and your can of diced tomatoes. I did not drain mine. It adds some liquid, sure, but the pasta's going to absorb that, and I think it adds a lot of flavor to it. Next, you're going to want to add your seasonings. Again, I'm using salt and pepper. Just a reasonable amount of each, I guess. And the all-purpose seasoning, about a tablespoon, tablespoon and a half. Again, measure with your heart. You're going to want to give that a good stir. Then add in your box of pasta. Any pasta you've got is fine. Does not have to be rotini. It can be anything from bow tie pasta to macaroni noodles. Just whatever you've got is fine. You're going to want to give that a good stir. Get that pasta nice and coated. Then you're going to cover it and turn your heat down to simmer and let it simmer for about 20 minutes with the cover on. If you should find yourself needing more liquid for the pasta, you can add more chicken broth. I gave mine a stir every 5 minutes as it went along. Once that's done, you want to add in your 2½ cups of shredded cheese. Stir that cheese in, let it melt, and you're done. Here's William's One-Skillet Smoked Sausage Pasta. A quick and easy meal your family is sure to love. If you try it, be sure and let us know what you think in the comments. Now, on to this week's preview. Cowboy Finding Love is the story of Silas Powers and Gladys LaFrac. The most unusual friendship you'll find, because Silas is a mechanic in his family's garage. Gladys is an heiress to a multi-million-dollar fortune from an oil family there in North Dakota. Two very, very different people who come together over the love of a very interesting hobby. Gladys's world is torn apart when she experiences a terrible, terrible tragedy, and she finds that Silas is the only true friend she has. Can these two people from such different, opposite social circles find love in their friendship? As always, you've got to come back on Friday to find out. But for now, here is a sample from Cowboy Finding Love. Hope you enjoy it, and then come back and see us this Friday for the full release here on Say with Jay. Silas held her while she cried, and Gladys appreciated it. Maybe she was taking advantage of his kindness, but she didn't hurry and allowed herself to cry as much as she needed to. After all, Silas had said that morning that her body was taking care of her. Maybe it knew she needed to cry now. It was a long time before she pulled away, swiping at her cheeks with her hands and seeing the big wet spot she'd left on Silas's shirt. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice husky from her tears. His hand reached out, swiping carefully at her cheek, wiping away some wetness she'd missed with the pad of his thumb. Gently, so gently it almost made her start crying again, and she would have sworn she had no tears left. "I think you needed that," he said, his voice as gentle as his hand had been. She nodded, not knowing what to do with the swirling feelings in her chest. Hurt, but also peace and tenderness, and that same attraction, all mixed with her grief. Clearing her throat, she looked over at where Mabel sat on the ground, the puppy jumping and playing around her while she used a piece of grass to tickle the animal's nose and give her something to bite. It looked like a scene from a park, not a funeral home, but Gladys knew her sister well enough to see that her heart really wasn't in playing with the puppy, which was unusual, since her parents had never allowed them to have animals, and any time Mabel could be around any creature, her eyes lit up and her whole body seemed animated. "I think I'm better. I think I can make it home, or you can take me to your house so I can pick up my car." She looked up at him, hating to ask but knowing she was going to anyway. "Would you stay at our house tonight?" He looked down at her, his eyes deep and unfathomable. She couldn't imagine anyone else with the patience to do what he had done today, which was step back when he wasn't needed and move forward when he was, sharing his puppy, his car, his shirt, and anything else that she needed from him. "I need to stop at my house and get some clothes, so I don't have to borrow yours in the morning." His eyes twinkled just a bit, although his face remained serious. "Thank you." They gathered Mabel up and stopped at Silas's house to grab not just clothes but some things for the puppy, including food. "Tomorrow, I'm definitely going to need to get her some food and also talk to the peacemakers, which I didn't get a chance to do today." He'd had plenty of time when they sat inside the house, waiting on phone calls or just staring off into space, but he hadn't left her. She appreciated that. "I think I can handle tomorrow by myself." She didn't think any such thing, but she couldn't ask him to take off work indefinitely and be her buffer. "I thought I was going to have a couple of friends coming, but they all canceled on me." "North Dakota is a long way from California." He shrugged, like it wasn't a big deal her friends didn't care enough to come. "I'll be here. I already told my brothers I wouldn't be working." "You didn't have to do that. Really. I can do it on my own." But she knew the words didn't sound confident. She might as well have said, "Please stay with me." "You can tell me to leave if you want to, but how about I stay the night, then we'll go from there. How's that?" She nodded, and maybe the expression on her face showed him how grateful she was. "I feel like I've aged 1,000,000 years in the last 3 days." "I think sometimes we go through things, and they either make us better and we learn things, or we spiral off, looking for something to numb the pain or make things easier, instead of facing the hard stuff." She knew exactly what he was talking about. Pills would have made today a lot easier. Alcohol, too. She could party tonight and completely forget that she had any responsibilities at all. Those ideas might have been tempting. "Is it not facing reality if I want to watch a little mindless TV?" She smiled some, pretty sure that she wasn't going to be able to be swept away by mindless TV. What she really wanted was for Silas to sing to her again. "Should I bring my guitar?" he asked, and she couldn't believe how easily he read her mind. "Do you mind?" "If you can stand to listen to me sing, I don't mind at all." "I'd like that. Thank you." Hi, this is Jay, and thanks for listening. If you're ready for another great audiobook, here's one we think you might like. Or check out the playlist with all our latest releases. Don't forget to subscribe to Stay with Jay, give this video a thumbs up, and tell us what you liked in the comments.